Listen. No, really. Listen. This is the sound of being alive in the 21st century. Notifications, deadlines, car horns, the constant hum of progress. Always something to do or to grind. We've built a world that never stops. And somewhere along the way, we forgot what silence feels like. But imagine waking up and the entire world is still. Not because of disaster, not because of war or collapse, not because something went wrong. Once a year, a small island in the Indonesian Sea erases itself. The fires go dark, the streets empty, the sky clears. Even the wind seems to soften its step. An entire civilization disappears for 24 hours. Folklore says it's hiding from something. But the most unsettling part isn't what lies outside. It's about being able to hear our own thoughts in a world that tries to drown them out desperately. What would you hear if all the distractions and noise just stopped? Why did we build a world that cuts us off from our own thoughts? What happens to the body and mind in true reflective silence? And when the world goes quiet, what awakens? Join me as we unravel all this and much more and enter the Codex Legendarium. I'm Shelby Melanson. We live in constant stimulation. An enforced silent day feels almost dystopian. An unfathomable impossibility that could only ever happen in the wake of a massive world-ending catastrophe, like the eerie silence of pure disbelief that strikes right after a natural disaster, before the sirens sound and the first responders arrive. But once a year, for 24 hours, an entire island vanishes, disappears into willful silence. There are 4 rules. No fire, electricity, or light of any kind, including cooking. No work or physical activity. No traveling or leaving home, as in not even walking outside your front door. And finally, no making loud noises, no entertainment, and no self-indulgence. It's taken so seriously that all airports on the entire island shut down, and even visiting tourists staying at hotels there must comply, and they cannot leave the premises. As for what happens if you violate the rules, you might just have a horde of monsters after you. More on that one in a second. It happens on the westernmost of the Lesser Sunda Islands, a province of Indonesia called Bali, a place that you've probably heard of as a tropical vacation destination. But it's also world-renowned for its deep ties to the arts and to local culture, especially spiritual traditions that blend vibrant dance, music, and craftsmanship. Not to mention its own UNESCO World Heritage Site. But for one day of the year, the entire island goes dark, literally. They call it Nyepi, the Day of Silence, based on the Indonesian word sipi, meaning quiet or still. It falls on the new moon of the spring equinox, based on Bali's Saka or lunar calendar. The exact date varies slightly from year to year, but this time around, from 5:59 a.m. Thursday, March 19th, to Friday, 6 a.m. March 20th, local time, roughly 4.5 million people will go inside under a moonless, pitch-black sky, close their doors, and wait. Because this isn't just a holiday, it's a ritual of disappearance, a collective exhale, a confrontation with the oldest force we know, and an effort to hide and escape the wrath of demons. Yes, you heard that right. Let me explain. The night before Nyepi, the entire island erupts into a spiritual celebration. Huge 25-foot statues of demons called Ogoh-Ogoh are paraded through the streets. Carried by the men and boys of the island, the effigies are intricately carved from bamboo and paper and represent negative forces and evil spirits. To drive them off, parade goers chant, wave torches, play loud music, and make as much noise as possible, effectively exorcising the island and banishing the evil. After the parade, many of those same statues are ceremonially burned to cleanse the island before Nyepi. But here's the thing. According to local folklore, those demons won't be so easily dealt with. And the best course of action to avoid them? convince the demons that the entire island is uninhabited by going inside, shutting off the lights, praying, and waiting. If successful, the wandering demons will leave in peace, letting Bali's people begin the next day, which happens to be Bali's New Year and a day for family reunions, in a state of purity, balance, and safety. Or so legend says, anyway. Obviously, this tradition is deeply rooted in the idea of the fight between good and evil, but it goes way deeper than that. Beyond spending a quiet day indoors to read and meditate, the island's people see this as a time to spiritually empty their glass. That is, prepare for a new beginning, ask for forgiveness, and reflect on a Hindu belief that describes life's ultimate purpose, being freed from the cycle of reincarnation. In other cultures, this would be described as spiritual enlightenment or becoming one with God. On an even broader level, the day symbolizes the idea that Earth and the greater universe get purified together. And the Balinese believe that harmony between humanity, nature, and the divine must be actively maintained. It's not just something that happens. Okay, so for Nyepi, silence is purification. It's camouflage. It's a deep reset. But is it only protection from mythological demons? Or does the same silence also make us confront something else, something rooted in our own minds? What are we without constant stimulation? What happens to the human mind and body when it gets a break from the onslaught? In the body, even short moments of silence can lower the stress hormone cortisol, decrease blood pressure, muscle tension, and inflammation, boost the immune system, promote nervous system recovery, and even prevent plaque from building up in your arteries. Studies from the past decade alone have shown that silence activates the brain's default mode, fostering creativity and easing our cognitive load. Several of them point to how internal reflection dramatically lowers depression and anxiety, and even helps manage mental health triggers. A 2020 paper highlighted how quiet environments can lower stress levels and improve concentration. Others link silence to better moods and improved ability to be present and in the moment, something really hard to do these days. Research from last year took that even further, finding that just 3 days of intentional silence literally rewires the brain, physically and functionally. It's such a dramatic change that the study compares the effects to months of deep mindfulness and meditation. That happens thanks to shifting brain waves from chaotic, high-tension beta waves to alpha and theta waves, linked to deep focus, mental clarity, and higher states of consciousness. And as if that wasn't enough, studies that specifically look at Nyepi's effects on the mind are few and far between. But I did find one single paper published last year, and it packs a punch. Here's a snippet from the paper's abstract. Quote, "In the midst of global crises such as climate change, pandemics, and declining spiritual awareness, Nyepi has emerged as a cultural strategy that strengthens the spiritual and cultural resilience of Balinese society." It continues that the holiday's spiritual values act as, quote, "forms of resistance to consumerism and global noise, while fostering deeper spiritual solidarity," and that they're, quote, "contextually revitalized to address contemporary global challenges." Huge, right? Based on all that, silence has pretty inarguable benefits for both the mind and body, right? So if that's true, why, in the modern world, have we become uncomfortable being alone with our own thoughts? Why have we engineered a world that cancels out silence? Turns out, silence can actually trigger hyper-alertness, anxiety, and even a flight or fight response in, key point here, people who aren't used to it. One paper points to the idea of inner versus outer silence. Quiet within a person is calming, but put a person with inner loudness in a quiet environment, i.e. someone who's used to the massive onslaught of modern stimulation, who has largely forgotten how to shut off the constant hum of the world, that is when the negatives kick in. In people with trauma, it can even make their triggers worse. Beyond the body, how would the rest of the world fare if we shut down for a day? Every year on Nyepi, carbon emissions coming from Bali drop by 20 to 30,000 tons. Fuel and electricity use plummets. A 2024 study found that particles of air pollution dropped by almost half. And beneath the waves, a 2018 study found that ambient noise off Bali's coast takes a nosedive before, during, and after Nyepi, making communication easier for marine life, like fish and whales. In the skies, research from 2021 observed a near 100% drop in nighttime light radiance, or light pollution, during the holiday. For my fellow astrophotographers out there, this is a big deal. Although mildly unfortunate since you can't actually go outside at night unless you feel like pointing a telescope or camera out your window. Basically, for 24 hours, the mind, body, and the earth go back to what life was like in ancient times. Now, what would happen if we got more of the world on board with this once in a while? Well, some people are already working to make that happen. Besides the obvious environmental impacts, that goes without saying, petitions like this one here in the US call for a National Space Day, all about night sky preservation. If approved, people would be encouraged to turn off all the lights, including streetlights, for incredible views of the Milky Way one day a year. The UK has its own version, hoping to turn off light pollution for a night so we can, and I quote, see all the stars. Australia does too, which got enough signatures to warrant a formal response from Parliament. Back in my part of the world, more than 130,000 institutions now observe something called the National Day of Unplugging on the first Friday in March. Worth noting, those are mostly religious institutions since it was inspired by the Jewish holiday of Shabbat. It's promoted as a detox from screen time, a chance to focus on mental health and self-reflection, and return to real-world connections. Back to Bali, silence is usually an individual thing, but Nyepi works precisely because everybody participates. The fact that it's strictly, though not cruelly, enforced, there is no punishment for tourists, but anyone spotted outside will be asked to basically just respect local tradition and go inside. That part makes the mass introspection possible. And at its core, it's a ritual that hits the pause button on, well, everything. Contrast that to much of modern society. Engines over oceans, lights that outshine the stars, voices speaking all at once, afraid of the space in between them. We have built a world that trembles at stillness. We flood the dark and fill the quiet and run from the echo of our own thoughts. And worst of all, the idea that, well, I can't stop or take a break because no one else will. And if I slow down, then I lose or fall behind. Does that mean then, in the modern landscape we've built for ourselves, that silence only works if it's shared? Compare that to the quiet of simpler times, when farmers could hear the earth as they tended their crops, when philosophers would ponder the universe at length in solitude, or when monks would take vows of silence designed to help them cultivate their character. Nowadays, do we still know who we are in the absence of all that noise? Nyepi isn't really about scaring away evil spirits. It's a time for people to take an honest look at themselves and inside themselves, to clean out the mental toll, start the new year fresh, and restore the balance between nature, humans, and the divine. At the end of the day in Bali, lights turn on, planes take off, phones power up. So maybe the question isn't whether the world could go silent. Maybe it's whether we could. And if we did, what would you hear? But what do you think? What really happens when an entire society shuts down? What happens to the human mind when distraction disappears? Does modern life depend on constant motion? And does the modern world fear silence because we're afraid of what we might hear within ourselves? I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments, and if you have an idea for something you'd like to see a future episode on, let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed this deep dive into mysteries, myths, culture, and science, please take a second to like and share this video, and if you want to see more, subscribe for videos every Tuesday. It really, really helps get the word out there. Until next time, stay curious. Thank you.